flores ni nada, no más nuestro amor.
¡Vámonos, chiquitito! My mom loved to sing. She wanted to be a singer, you know. Y un día llegó ahí al kiosco a cantar, and I guess she met my dad. And my dad was working at the shop, you know. They were probably like 18 or 19 in 1980. I was born and they probably brought me here first, you know, to Placita. Aquí tiene.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, buen día, ¿eh? Hasta luego.
Oiga, ¿cómo se llama usted?
Yo, Marisol.
¿Usted no es la cantante?
Sí, también.
Ah, porque le digo a mi hermana, ella es de un grupo de Santa Lucía. ¿O
Santa Cecilia.
Oh, Santa Cecilia.
Sí. My grandfather came to Olvera Street, I guess, in the late 60s, early 70s, and he started selling these little prendedores he would make out of copper wire. And eventually he got a little shop in the 70s, and he built his little shop, and they started selling Mexican goods, you know, curiosidades, Mexican curios, no? And then he set up the burro, no? También, like, inspired by Tijuana. The family grew up between the burro stand and the little shop. More Polaroids of me as a kid, a little baby. At the carreta on the donkey. And here's a photo of me and my brothers in this photo, and there's two other kids here. I remember this kid, his name's Nicholas, and he was my friend here on Olvera Street. He was probably one of the merchant kids too, and this other girl I can't remember, pero my uncle says that when we would see the tourists come, we'd run to the cross right here and pretend to sing and dance so that the tourists could give us money, you know? And so we could go and eat candy and, you know, buy candies and things like that, and toys. And there's a picture of my mother and me, and I'm a baby here. I don't think I'm even a year old here, but again, like, most of our photos are around the carreta at Olvera Street, and they're Polaroids, which I love, you know. These are my maestros, you know. This is Don Fidel. He used to drive us to all the gigs. Don Leonel, mi gran maestro, and Don Tony, one of my favorite singers of all time, and who I learned a lot of my repertorio was through him.
Cantando cuando la música suena. Cuando la música suena, me arrimo y sigo cantando. Me arrimo y sigo cantando cuando la música.
Coming back and playing is like me bringing back a little bit of what I've received here, you know. So I wanna come back and sing music and busk, and, you know. And if they see me, sometimes they say, "But weren't you from that band that won a Grammy?" Or like, "What happened to that?" Or, "You're not." You know, a veces me preguntan, o si estoy cuidando el puesto. They tell me, "Oh, but I saw you on TV. Like, what happened?" Like, you know, and it's like, no, nothing happened. I still get to be a singer, and then I'll forever be a busker here on Placita. Like, no matter what, you know, this is part of my life, you know. I could never stop.
Dame agua con tu boquita que yo te doy con la mía. Ariles y más ariles, ariles del carrizal. Me picaron las abejas, pero me comí el panal. ¡Ay! dijo el Santo Papa, alzando su voz al cuello, dijo, viva la Lapa.
Me gustan mucho estos guaraches que había acá. Ah, estos, miren. Es que ya ve luego.
Es que vienen grandes, vienen
Sí,
amplios.
este es el 6. Tendrán 5.5. Todos los años de estar aquí, de siempre ser tan compartido conmigo, por siempre apoyarme. Me imagino que en algún momento también me acuerdo que vine a pedirle a todos los comerciantes si me ayudaban con una donación, porque yo quería ir como una conferencia de música y estoy segura que vine aquí a pedirle también y todos me daban de a $5, de 10, de 20, para que yo pudiera comprar mi vuelo para ir a una conferencia de música en Nueva York cuando yo tenía como 18 años.
Bueno.
Y todo encarrilada por mi papá, ¿no?
Sí, no, es lo que estamos hablando con Irma, de que tu papá te apoyó mucho.
Sí.
Mucho.
Sí.
Digo, es que ellas tienen la adrenalina. Así es que no...
la energía ahí de...
La energía y la adrenalina que siempre vas hacia adelante.
Ya.
Siempre vas hacia adelante. Y que sigas adelante.
Gracias, don Rafa.
Así es.
No, pues yo le agradezco su tiempo y por ser parte de esta gran familia de la calle Olvera.
Siempre estarás ahí con nosotros y en nuestros corazones sin pagar renta.
¡Eso!
Ahí te va, mamá.
Gracias, don
Bye,
Rafa.
mamá.
Ok, no, pero déjeme pagarle,
No,
por mi
¿qué?
bolsa.
Ya.
No,
Ya,
sí, ¿cómo?
ya, perdón.
¿Cómo no? Sí. I grew up like that. I grew up with all the music, with getting dressed up. I remember when my mom would dress me up for the fiestas, I would feel like a princess, like a Mexican princess. And I feel like that empowered me, and I know that a lot of people don't grow up like that, don't grow up so proud of their culture, but I was very lucky to have grown up here in Olvera Street and to have been able to participate en las posadas, en las fiestas, aprender a cantar, and to feel proud of being Mexicana. What I love and what I've learned about playing son jarocho is that hay músicos y hay música para la comunidad, para tu pueblo, y es una manera de hacer servicio, to serve your community, to serve your people, the party, ¿no? Las fiestas, and it's a great way to connect with people, without being on stage. You could just be right here around with everybody, and that's something that I love. Que la fortuna sea buena para volvernos a encontrar en un instante, un lugar donde suene la jarana y el verso que nos hermana, juntos volver a cantar. Y el verso que nos hermana, juntos volver a cantar. Eso. The love that I learned from Olvera Street, I carry it with me and I try to share it wherever I go. And whenever I can come back and bask like how I used to, I love that, It's my favorite way of performance, Es la manera más pura de presenciar la música es así nada más en la calle. No stage, no lights, no managers, no nothing, no tickets, no nothing. Just free music on the street, And if you like it and if you dig it, you'll put $1 in the basket or more, or you'll ask for a song. And if you don't, you could just go on your way, But that's freedom.
En tu vida está mi vida, mi amor en tu corazón. Me ven tus ojos.
Yes, there's a big sense of family and community, but it's also changing, you know? As time passes by, everyone's growing up, and not everyone comes back. Just makes me sad, you know? Like that I get to stand in front of Don Rafa and talk to him still and hang out with him, but my father and my grandfather aren't here anymore. And it makes me happy that he's still here and that he's still tending to a shop, no? 50-something years later. Pero, ¿qué va a pasar cuando él ya no esté aquí, no? I could never leave this place. As much as I leave, because I leave all the time with music, thankfully. Pero man, this street gave me everything, no? Like everything I know about music, about singing, like everything. It gave me everything. So I love this place, you know? I'll haunt this place probably when I'm gone. Ojalá que te vaya bonito. Ojalá que se acaben tus penas. Que te digan que yo ya no existo. Que conozcas personas más buenas. Que te den lo que no pude darte. Aunque yo te haya dado de todo, nunca más volveré a molestarte. Te adoré, te perdí, ya ni modo. Cuántas cosas quedaron prendidas hasta dentro del fondo de mi alma. Cuántas luces dejaste encendidas, yo no sé cómo voy a apagarlas. Sí, me acuerdo de mi papá, lo extraño, you know. He's the reason why I know all those songs, you know, and I sing all those songs, and I just miss them, you know. Yo no sé si tu ausencia me mate, aunque tengo mi pecho de acero, pero nadie me llame cobarde sin saber hasta dónde te quiero. Yo no sé si tu ausencia me mate, aunque tengo mi pecho de acero, pero nadie me llame cobarde sin saber hasta dónde te quiero. Cuántas cosas quedaron prendidas hasta dentro del fondo de mi alma. Cuántas luces dejaste encendidas, yo no sé cómo voy a apagarlas. Ojalá, ojalá que te vaya bonito.